I remember in the second episode, I think out of five that you made for this series, uh, you went back and you actually recorded, and it's a crystal clear, almost crystal clear sound of the voice that comes out of Kristen the moment she's about to be baptized, immersed in the water. Before she comes out, there's this voice like a animal-like female screeching, nothing like human voice-like sound, and I like how the locals all said, "Hey, we have no animals, no normal animals or birds living in this region that can sound like that," and that brought even bigger mystery to the whole docu series. Um, and this brings us to something that we will discuss later. But is there anything that you want to say about this creep event when she was talking? Because people could have assumed or guessed that this was the demon that has been bothering her for a long time. Because as I remember, Christine's mom testifies that she heard the same voice coming out from Christine before baptism. She could have heard the same type of voice and scream coming in their house.
Yeah. So that sound, um, I heard it at first. No one there remembers hearing it in person. Um, I had been pressing the like a cell phone, watching the video recording of her baptism up to my ear as tightly as I could with the volume all the way up to try to hear what it was Josh said out in the river. Um, and yeah, right before she's about to go under, there's this very short, sort of aggressive, animal-like screech that's on the recording. Now, yeah, the folks there said nothing there sounds like that. I've since come to know that there something like a bobcat might make that noise. However, the spot where she's baptized is in the middle of a park, and there's a road maybe 50 feet up a steep incline right there. Um, we're struggling to hear Josh addressing the crowd in the video, and yet this screech is loud enough to come through. I think if it were a bobcat, it would be place, uh, a strange place and time for it. You know, in the middle of the day in a crowded park. However, the thing with any EVP that's outdoors, you have to put those caveats on it. So EVP is electronic voice phenomena. Any sort of vocalization that comes across recording, you have to put the caveat on it that it is outdoors. You're not certain where it comes from. However, it is the same when I played that sound for Heather, who's Kristen's mother. She recognized it as something she had heard come out of Kristen in the couple of nights prior to Kristen's baptism. So in those couple of nights, she spent those nights at her mom's house, and there was a lot of, there was stuff that didn't make the show as well. I think she was hearing scratches, she was hearing voices. She looked pale and sweaty and was, convulsing sometimes. Sometimes voices coming out of her or around her that are not her voice. Her mother experienced all of that stuff and identified that voice as something she had heard before. In addition, Kristen's cousin, when that sound was played for her, identified it as a sound she had heard over the phone talking to Kristen prior to her baptism as well. Or actually, that was after her baptism, but she heard it on the phone while speaking with Kristen. Which is, that's an odd number of bobcats in an odd number of places to justify all of that. So I do think that there was something there, and it possibly like I said, I think we were given a window into seeing some things that you wouldn't normally see for the purposes of telling the story. So I don't think that um, I'm really hesitant to, I'm not charismatic and they're not charismatic. And I would hate to give the impression that, um, this EVP happening is sort of what legitimizes her baptism or her experience. But I do think we got a window into something. And that was kind of the first marker for me of, oh, that's really hard for me to explain. That's hard for me to come up with a thing to dismiss.